Okay, so I tried recording this before and it was 45 minutes long. There's no way people are going to watch it, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Here's how I built my Poison Concoction character. I'm going to show you two setups, one for mapping, one for bossing. I'm not using Queen of the Forest. I would like to. It's too expensive, so I've had to make do without it. I've got the Widow Hail bow with the quiver. It's what you've seen before. Scaling the quiver to a crazy amount gives us a very high level Poison Concoction, level 34 currently. I paid a lot for the spirit, which is actually super helpful. Helps me get another aura in there. Not necessary, but I did. Okay, so I've got a helmet with evasion and energy shield. I think this is probably the best, although you could go pure energy shield here. We're capping out resistances and chaos resistances, importantly, with our gear. I showed you the quiver quickly. I'll do that real fast. Damage with bow skill is super important. I mean, you want to try to get as many of these stats as you can. Attack speed here is quality of life, but I'll show you my bossing quiver in a moment. This is just for mapping. It's slightly less damage than what I have for bossing. I'll quickly flash you all the gear. My Anoint Lasting Trauma is just more damage. Not the best amulet, but evasion, energy shield, some life, proj skills, +3, pretty useful. Chest, evasion, ES gives a lot of effective health and evasion, so gotta love it. Rings, chaos damage, life, resist on both rings. Gloves, snake bites. I bought these with another socket for chaos resistance. Belt, I'm testing this out. I'm not sure if it's best. Stun threshold. You die if you get stunned too much. Also, yeah, getting stunned sucks. So I'm testing it. Not sure if it's the best, but for now it's good. I literally don't need anything else when I'm mapping because I kill stuff fast enough for it to not matter. I always have flask, charms, whatever. Boots, corpse wade. We've seen these. Other people are using them. Here's what I'm doing. Okay, Decompose, Magnified Effect, Bursting Plague, Persistence, and Arcane Tempo. The cast speed just helps you consume corpses a little bit faster. And more corpses equals more poison equals more damage. For the flasks, real quick, here's what I got. I think they matter a little bit. I'll show you why in a second. Here's this one. Mana Flask, you want the most charges possible so that when you're fighting a boss, you have the most opportunity to cast Poison Concoction. I'm using a stun charm because stuns are bad. And for the gem setup, I already showed you Decompose. I don't think there's much that you can really change here. Casting, maybe you can change. I'll show you why in a second. Okay, again, this is my mapping setup, guys. Keep that in mind. Poison Concoction, here's what I got going on. I've got Comorbidity, Chaos Infusion, Scatter Shot, Deadly Poison, and Chaos Mastery. I don't think I would change any of these out, but I'll show you what I do for bossing in a moment. Like I said, I'm just going to swap 3 pieces of gear, no big deal. Okay, Dark Effigy, I'm using Ancestral Urgency and Withering Touch. When I boss, I swap in Arcane Tempo, so you can apply Wither faster. Okay, easy peasy, just one thing, not a big deal. Okay, Vine Arrow. Swift Affliction, Font of Rage, Font of Blood, Inspiration. Easy. You want to stand next to it for the most amount of rage. I'm using Despair linked with Hexbloom, Focus Curse, and Heightened Curse. And for my auras, here's the part that's juicy. When I'm mapping, I use Grim Feast. This gives me a humongous amount of energy shield and sustain. It makes me very, very tanky. When I boss, I swap off Grim Feast and put on Alchemist Boon. Since you're not killing anything when you're bossing, aside from the boss, you're not getting this energy shield. It becomes useless. So what I do is add to my Flasks Sustain with the Alchemist Boon, which will synergize with the belt that I'll show you in a second. I then have Plague Bearer for mapping with AoE and cooldown. So it's not needed, but I mean, it's a little something. Honestly, at this point, it might not even be worth it. But, you know, it's still nice to nuke the whole screen. Wind Dancer, here's a setup that I thought was pretty clever. I'm using Blind, I'm using Energy Barrier, and I'm using Unbreakable. So again, I'm trying to avoid these stuns, and if I do happen to get stunned, my Energy Shield recharge begins immediately. Particularly useful on bosses, like the Breach boss I've been farming lately. When those big hands come out of the ground and slap your dick into the dirt, you get stunned, and when you do, you get Energy Shield recharge immediately, which is very nice. Helps you top up and get your EHP back up. Ghost Dance with Fast Forward and Clarity for a little bit of mana regen, and you get faster Ghost Shrouds. So that's that. Okay, so I'll show you what I do for bosses. It's very quick, and then I'll show you the passive tree. take off the boots, since you're not going to be walking over corpses. Put on a better quiver with more damage. All this, the difference between this quiver and the other one is this has more damage with bow skills and no attack speed. So I lose a little bit of attack speed, well, actually a lot. Not a big deal though, I don't really care. Because I'm going to get some from the tree. And I put on Chevron's Satchel. This is nice because when you get nuked, eventually, because you will, because of how entropy works in this game and the evasion system, you need to recover energy shield fast, but you also want to recover life fast. So what you do is both at the same time with the belt. Now again, you're going to be swapping off Grim Feast for Alchemist Boon, so on the off chance the fight lasts too long, you're going to be gaining 0.4 flask charges per second. So just run around, regen some flasks. You're going to be running pretty quickly, by the way. This is about how fast Queen of the Forest users run. So I don't necessarily think that that setup is better, because this setup is more tanky, better all around, in my opinion. And my gear's not even that good, because everything's inflated by the amount of bumholes trying to flip and buy everything up. Okay, anyhow, that's the boss setup. The damage, I'll show you the damage with P-Conc with the boss setup. Around 35k per. Then you multiply that by 10-ish. I don't know how it works. I'm just a guy. Go to the passive tree. Here's what I think is best. I don't know if it is. Obviously you need Poison Concoction, double the amount of poisons, and Running Assault. I find this to be useful. I don't think there's anything better. You could maybe make a case for the passive points, but just level up, dude. It's that easy. Just kidding. It's not. Once you hit a certain level, it becomes very difficult and tedious. Same thing as what other people are doing, I think. You get Master Fletching, you take a bunch of Poison Nodes, Evasion. I come down here for the acceleration, and I get Maiming Strike for damage, movement speed. Look, I'm trying to get a lot of movement speed. I don't have Queen of the Forest. I need move speed. These boots are so flippin' slow. Can't stand it. Jewels, I'll cover that fast. You want poison stuff, projectile stuff. That's what I got. All my jewels are super good. I don't have any quiver bonus jewels. They're way too expensive. Don't buy them. They're so expensive for what they are. As long as you hit the break point to make your quiver pop the next tier of levels for your Poison Concoction, you're fine. And I tell you what, the farther away the break point is, the more you're going to spend, and it's really not worth it unless your jewels are GG, which they're probably not. They're probably trash. Everything's inflated because the build got really popular. Subterfuge mask. I'm using this helmet because I found it, I made it, I crafted it, I evolved it. +3 max cold res is pretty sweet. I gotta love it. Now I use low tolerance and I use first approach while mapping. So when I pop something with the Poison Concoction, I have a giga multiplier for that first hit, which will then pro-lift to anything else that's on full life. So the screen just melts. It literally melts with one button press. That's why I keep Plague Nova around, because you just one tap everything that's on full life and get a giga juiced poison on everything. Spectral Ward, it juices up the body armor by quite a bit. Gives you a lot of effective health. Check this out. Pow. And then when you're mapping, that synergizes with Grim Harvest and puts you up to puts me up to 1500 or 1200, 1500 energy shield. So the chances of me getting one shot or anything in maps super duper low. I take Event Horizon all the way over here to Spaghettification. I think it's worth it. You get a lot of damage, a lot of movement speed, and the attributes is not awful. I'll show you why in a second. I come up here for the Ghetto Mind Over Mana. I think it's useful. Again, I'm trying to be tanky. I'm trying to increase my effective health pool. I don't like dying. I don't like getting one shot. I'm trying to level up. Level 93 right now. I've got a good amount of XP. I still want to fight bosses. I just don't want to die. I come down here for dark entries because I think it's worth it. I think this is probably one of the more efficient trees. I've tried different trees. I just lose damage. I think this is the best. I think this is the most well-rounded tree that I can come up with for mapping. Now, if we come over here, I'll show you what I do for bossing. Again, I'm level 93. You might not have all these passives, but if you do, you can take out these 6 points, or even just 5, and you can come over here and pow, 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 slap in some attack speed. It makes fighting a boss a little bit better, especially if you don't have attack speed on your quiver like me. If you do have attack speed on your quiver, you don't have to change anything. Congrats, you're rich. But I'm not that guy, pal. I'm not that guy. So that's the character. I think what I have is probably the best way to do it. Apply the most amount of poisons as possible, nuke the boss with a super effective Despair. And wither setup, and be tanky. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I think I covered everything in less than 10 minutes. The last video was way too long. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. I think this version of the build is probably one of the stronger ones. I don't know that Queen of the Forest is best. I think it's really cool to run fast. Trust me, I know what it's like. I've done some really cool things on my channel. Check it out. I might still have the world record for the fastest Uber Lab in PoE. Not sure. Been a while since I played. Haven't kept up with it. But here's where I'm at. This is the character. I'm absolutely annihilating breach bosses out of existence. I'm still farming it as we speak. Here's what I got going on. The next one I fight is going to be tier 4, and I look forward to doing it and trying it out. I'm absolutely blasting through everything. This is the most fun character I've played, probably ever will play. I look forward to investing more. Alright, I talked very fast throughout the video. Sorry, not sorry. I had to really try to fit everything into a short format, or else nobody's going to watch. The last video I made was 45 minutes long, and I just yapped. I just drank a coffee and yapped for way too long. It was dumb. So I remade this one very quick, not using any weapon swap this time. Poison Concoction won't let you weapon swap, and actually, you can't even put quality on Poison Concoction, despite what it says here. Well, at least I don't know how. If there is a way to do it, please let me know. I would love to get that free damage. Alright, appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just general kind words, leave them below. Appreciate y'all. Bye.